If you're watching this video right now, you're probably wondering, what is it like to attend the Collective Genius Mastermind? My name is Jason Medley, CEO and founder of CG, and we are effectively a community, right? A community that focuses on high caliber real estate investors that are looking to scale their business, build wealth, and give back. All of those three different things are driven through what we call connection, right? At CG, that connection starts day one, very early, right? Typically at around 5:30. In the morning, we've got several different groups that are huddling up to start connecting with each other, whether that's through a bunch of folks that go out and members that play basketball, a bunch of other folks that go out and play pickleball. We've got folks that are on the golf course. And it's not just to get exercise, right? It's because a lot of very special connections begin when the sun comes up at CG. All right, so now it's 9:30 Monday morning. That's when the actual networking starts from a business perspective. We get officially cranked up at 10. But between 9:30 and 10, when you walk into the room, this is what CG is all about, right? It's not about our leadership team who's on the stage, it's who's in the seats. So for the first 30 minutes, we're gonna get you warmed up and you're gonna be running into people and being introduced to people like, say, for example, Phil Green, right? He's out of San Diego. The guy flips 250 plus homes a year, has an extensive Airbnb portfolio. From there, you might bump into Joe Taylor. He's up in the Northwest, probably been with us for 5 or 6 years, does several hundred flips a year, just a fantastic human being. And then from there, you might run into somebody like Akin Majmadar, right? He's a Harvard grad. He's got, say, for example, 300 million under assets under management and deploys a lot of capital inside of the Collective Genius. From there, we creep up on 10 o'clock, and that's really when the day gets started from a content perspective, if you will. And so each day at CG, at least especially on Monday, is typically theme driven. And we're gonna bring you the most relevant speakers, the most relevant content for that moment in time in the marketplace. When we wrap, we walk out of the room. We typically have cocktails where people are shaking hands, just really getting out, talking about the day and making connections. Now, here's the fun part. We don't rely on our members to make those connections alone. Our team comes out after the meeting and begins literally physically placing individuals together who can, for lack of a better term, compress the amount of time it takes them to get from their reality of today and their vision for tomorrow. All right, it's Tuesday morning at the Collective Genius. It's day 2. And we're rocking with what we call our hot seats, right? So again, our first 30 minutes are filled with networking, and then we dump into the room at 10 o'clock. And what we've built on Tuesday is effectively a board of directors, if you will, for the individual members of our organization. And so each person, again, goes through what we call a hot seat. That hot seat is composed of 2 different components, and that is a giving component as well as a receiving component. And so the give is a system, a strategy, a resource that you're using right now to be successful in your business. And the get, if you will, or the receiving section of that is, hey, I'm doing these things well, but this is what I'm struggling with, or this is a connection I need, or this is a goal I'm trying to achieve, and I'm trying to find the missing links. Who can help me? Once CG is complete, myself and my team typically compile over about 400 connections from the course of the week. And when we get back home, we begin actually physically making those connections via text and email to ensure that people are getting the connections that they need to create massive growth. All right, day 3, 9:30 CG, we're networking, 10 o'clock hits the spot, and we break into what we call the hot seat champs. We go through an awards ceremony. It's pretty cool. We've got these big, giant championship belts, if you will. A lot of folks take a lot of pride in winning those. And then what we do as a leadership team is we look at, okay, these are the top 5 presentations. Which of those presentations, of those 5, absolutely drop the hammer? And then what we do is we have what we call best of the belt. And we take that individual and put them front and center on stage, and they re-deliver that presentation to the entire organization versus just a single hot seat room. It's an awesome experience because you're getting the best curated content from the event right then, right there on the spot. From there, we transition into what we call the generous genius. It's really part of the fabric, if you will, of our organization. We believe that with a profitable business comes blessing, and with blessing comes responsibility. The beautiful part about it is it's not just the raising of capital. It's not just the giving it away or deploying it. It's that our members take those trips together to Mexico, to Guatemala, and they're the hands and feet on the ground, helping those orphanages, building those homes. And it's just a pretty cool process in what we call the generous genius. right? And then from there, we recap the day and move into our closing, if you will, and we usually bring in a bang keynote speaker. We've had some phenomenal folks from the past as well. You know, we've had Jocko Willink, we've had Chris Voss, we've had Darren Hardy, we've had just a ton of epic talent that typically wrap us up and close us down from a keynote perspective. And most of them, I think, which is key, are they're not keynotes from just delivering a message. Most of them are workshop driven, so that our members are involved working through how the information they're going to get from that keynote speaker is going to translate into impact and results inside of their business. All right, it's day 4. It's what we call Connection Day at CG. The business is over and the fun begins. Connection Day is just a ton of fun. Basically, there's no agenda, there's no structure. Everybody's just hanging out under the premise of just creating relationships, creating joint ventures, starting businesses together. That takes on many different formats, if you will. Typically, there's a group of folks that are just chilling at the pool, relaxing, having conversation. Again, often they turn into money-making engagements. And then you've got some folks who might be out on the golf course. But all in all, it's just a great way to close out the week without an agenda, just really being able to put your guard down and connect. That is day 4 of CG, and that is a wrap. And you know what to do.